Hi, my name is Keri Barnum. I am the Executive Director of New Shelves Books, and we are here for Free Advice Friday to chat for an hour on Friday to talk about publishing, book marketing, what's trending in the industry, and to answer your questions live. So you can always join us live at newshelves.com/FAF, or you can send in questions ahead of time to questions@freeadvicefridays.com. We do answer them live, and then you can catch the replay, which goes up on YouTube. It's newshelves.com youtube.com/newshelvesbooks, and that goes up on Monday for our replay. And today we've got a couple of questions kind of surrounding ebooks and BookBub, audiobooks. We've got some stuff going on with Amazon that we want to chat about that's kind of trending. So let's jump right into that. And first, we've got in the chat, we've got Tara saying that she's part of the beta for hardcovers for KDP, because KDP is doing some beta testing on hardcover books directly through KDP for Amazon. And that's been going on, gosh, I want to say about a year now. So it's not very new, but only certain people have access to it. And they aren't doing author copies. So what that means is that you can get a proof, but when you get a proof of a book, it's got this band that says proof copy, not for resale. It's not very pretty. It's not something you want to splash all over your Instagram, and you certainly don't want to take those copies and give them out for a bunch of reviews or things like that. They're just not very pretty. An author copy, as we know, when we order author copies from KDP, it is your beautiful printed book. It is everything that your book is, but you get it at cost. You get it at printing cost rather than paying full cost. Actually, here's one that I got recently. So as you can see, there's no banner. It's very pretty. There's nothing that really makes it stand out from a normal print copy. And so a lot of times authors will buy those, and they'll buy author copies at a lower cost so that they can then resell them at back of house if they're doing speaking events, or they can gift them for reviews, that kind of thing. And the hardcover does not allow for that. They do not do that. And I think, Tara, I noticed that some months ago, and I do think that it's simply that they don't have the profit margin at the moment to do that, and they also don't have the scaled production for that, because it's fairly new for them. They're still testing the waters. I think they're trying to keep from having an overabundance of orders right now. So maybe that'll change as that hopefully comes out of beta and actually goes full time, but I guess we'll have to know, when that happens later. Oh, Wendy says she didn't have the band. Wendy, I definitely want to know when you ordered. I ordered from KDP last week and it had a band. Now, Ingram Spark, when you order from there and you order proof or author copies, it does not have a band. It's only KDP. So yeah, their system can't handle it. And that's exactly what it is. They're not scaled for it because it's beta testing, and they're just not ready for that kind of volume of sales. So hopefully that changes, and hopefully hardcover through KDP becomes more normal. As we know, when we put our books up on KDP for print on demand directly for Amazon sales, we make more per copy of a book sold than if we go through, let's say, Ingram Spark, and we're giving a full trade retail discount. We actually make a couple dollars more usually per sale. So a lot of people use KDP for Amazon sales. And if we could do that for print, paperback and hardcover, that would be huge. And also having more options to order from as authors, and having author copies would be awesome as well. Oh yeah. Wendy, they didn't used to do that band many, many years ago. They didn't, but they do now. So it has changed, I believe. And other news of what is happening over in KDP land, there is now something called A+ content that is allowed on Amazon for those of us who have KDP accounts. So this is not accessible if you have been published by someone else. You do not have access to this. It has to go through KDP. With that said, your publisher has access to the A+ content, and A+ content is not new. It's actually been around for a long time. A+ content was, that is something that authors have had, or I'm sorry, big publishers who have Advantage accounts have had for a long time. So New Shelves has actually had access to this through our Advantage account for a very long time. And so now it's just more available, which is awesome because it's something that makes your landing page really stand out. It makes it beautiful. And I'm trying to find an example so I can pull up what that looks like for you. All right. See, and of course I didn't prep. That would be so silly. Let's see, where is it? I had one pulled up so I could show you guys what it looked like. And you know me with my my tabs on tabs on tabs. Let's see. See if I could pull one up since I lost it apparently. All right. So let me share my screen with you and show you what A+ content looks like. For those of you who may not know, can I rub my belly and pat my head at the same time? Definitely not today. I am working on how many cylinders are you supposed to have? Like 4, 6? I think I'm on maybe 2. Let's see. All right. So A+ content is this content. Of course, this is our Amazon page, right? And this page is something you've always had. You've been able to do HTML, make it pretty, all that kind of stuff. But what the self-published author has not had, or the small press author who's going directly through KDP has not had, is this content down here where it says from the publisher, and you're able to put these cool graphics. You can put more information in. It really just makes your page pop. It's a way to call attention to your page, to engage people a little bit more. Because of course, yes, we have our review section, right? We have our editorial reviews, which is great. But if I'm scrolling through, this does not catch my eye nearly as much as this does. Having this opportunity to really show your book, to actually put some reviews and things up there, is a way to stand out above the crowd. And so this is now available to all authors who have KDP. It's right through your marketing tab. So if you go to authorcentral.com and you go to your book, there's a marketing tab up at the top. You can get to it through KDP as well. And so when you have, like when you go to set up a ad, when you go to the promote and advertise button, it now shows up as A+ content, which is allowing you to do this. And it's super cool. And you can also do like additional descriptions, note from the publisher, different things like that. So it's just one more way to take your book from a average listing and then to really make it stand out and make it beautiful, which is awesome. And that is now available to everyone. I am going to be working on a video of actually using A+ content, and I hope to get that up on YouTube probably next week. I just have to make sure that the author is okay with me recording their KDP account as I do it. And then I'll get that up so that we can see it in action and actually show you how you can go into KDP and use it so that you can start actively using that. And as far as those graphics and things, guys, Canva, I mean, certainly you can get them. Like New Shelves makes graphics like that, and we do, we get paid for it, but we do make graphics like that for sure. But it's also something that if you're savvy, you can make them in Canva and you can put those up as well. So for sure. Yes, I will try to let you all on Free Advice Friday know when the video is up on YouTube. But if you haven't, go to newshelves.com. Man, I said like 2 cylinders, right? Go to youtube.com/newshelvesbooks. And if you go there and you subscribe, you'll actually get a notice every time we put up a new video. So there we go. I'll drop that in there. So you can do that as well. And then if you subscribe, you'll see, but I will also try to drop it in the Free Advice Friday group on Facebook. And no, Mike, there's no charge for this. There's no upcharge. This is not something special you have to pay for. It's just something that KDP realized, hey, we have enough authors using KDP who are doing really well in professional listings, and this would benefit them. So I think they've gotten feedback over the years that we missed that, we'd like to have it, and they've now made it available, which is awesome. Let's see. Yes, Canva for sure. Canva is where we make all of our graphics. So, and you don't have to sign up for it, Vicki. When you go into the account, it just shows up. It just gives you the option when you go into marketing. Let me see if I can. Give me a second and I'll see if I can get in and show you guys what that looks like. And again, I will make a video and I will show you guys all of this so that you can get it in real time and actually see what it is. All right, let me go right here. All right. So let me show you. I'll share my screen again. All right, so here we are on Chris Bennett's page, and he very graciously allows me to use him as an example often. And so right here, we can see on his bookshelf where it says promote and advertise. You simply click on this button. And when you go here, this is how you can see KDP status. This is how you can manage the KDP Select enrollment. You can do a Kindle countdown if you're in KDP Select. You can do a free book promotion. You can run an Amazon advertisement campaign in all of or most of the Amazon sites. So .com, the UK, Germany, France, all of those. So you have those options. And then you'd create an ad campaign. And then down here, you have A+ content. And they do have this hyperlink so you get an idea. But you can choose different markets, which is cool. Just know that you do have to set it up for each market. It will not just automatically populate. But so I could say Amazon.com, manage A+ content, and then actually go in and start putting that in by creating a listing. They've got examples and getting started. So they kind of have some of the basics of getting started, which is helpful. But as we know, Amazon's help tools are usually pretty basic, which again is why I will do a video on how to actually set that up so you guys can see it real time. But in the meantime, you can always go in here and play around with it, which is awesome. Let's see. All right. Do they have the option of simply cloth covers, dust jackets, or do they just print the paperback cover onto a hardcover? Man, it's been a long time. Tara, I don't know if you know the Amazon. I think when I did it, which was, I mean, we were one of the first people to get it. It was just the hard, it was just like a case laminate hardback. And I don't know what options they may have now. Yeah, laminate covers. So no canvas, it's just case laminate cover, which again, they may expand once they have it, but their bandwidth is pretty small because they're beta testing. So pretty basic right now. And it has been in testing for, gosh, I mean, well over a year. They didn't even tell people at first, like we were just go in and it would show up in your account for a little while. And they started emailing out about beta testing. So we will see how it comes out. As always, that kind of stuff takes a long time, but I've got high hopes for KDP. They seem to be making a lot of updates and changes, which is good. I mean, a lot of authors use them. A lot of people are buying books from Amazon. So it's good that they are at least trying to give us more options and more tools. I was recently told by someone at KDP customer service that I should not check the box stating I have language content inappropriate for children if I want to advertise my books, even though I do have such content. What say you? So you can still advertise your books. It just monitors who you can advertise to. So my feeling is that if you are advertising content that is not appropriate for children, and you do, if it gets reported, you can actually have your access revoked. You can have your book removed. You can have your access to ads revoked and different things like that. So there are many times where it's like, man, maybe it's on the line. But I, for a fact, know that your book is a bar book and that there's like alcohol all over the cover. So I personally would err on the side of caution, because you can't really come back. Well, I mean, you could, but it's hard to come back from Amazon removing your books from their platform. Whereas you can kind of work around advertisement that doesn't go to accounts that are populated with children or different things like that. So it wouldn't let you populate in, like if you were trying to advertise to a product that was meant for children, which you also select like an age range and stuff like that, like a children's book, it would block you from that, as it well should. It's probably actually saving you advertising dollars, because if your book is showing up on, let's say, a children's book, well, that's not a good fit, unless it's the parents who are desperate and absolutely looking for some bar poems. But in general, that's probably not what you want to connect to. So when it's something blatant like that, I would tend to err on the side of caution. Now, I have been asked this about, let's say, like a romance that may have some fade to black scenes or different things like that. I wouldn't necessarily do that, keeping in mind that when they say children, they are talking all the way up to 18. So if you have a book that maybe has some fade to black scenes, or you've got a romance, unless it's 50 Shades of Grey, I think you're fine, and use your best judgment, I guess, is the best I can say. I don't think that it would particularly affect you. I've seen some of your ads, Randy, and I see the impressions you get and things like that. So we know it's being shown to people. And if it's not showing to them, they're probably not the best people for your book. Again, you in particularly, since I know about your books and what they're about. Congratulations on your upcoming third book, by the way. Very exciting. Okay, great. And Pat is saying she's got A+ content up on her Amazon picture book, Delmar the Dinky. Pat, did you just do that? Is that something that you just did, or did you go through a publisher and that's how it went up? I'd be interested if you'd done it recently. Let's see. And I'm gonna pull it up. Oh, look, it's a new book, so probably. Yeah, this is great. Let's show. Share screen. It's a sharing screen kind of day. All right, so we can see Pat's book, Delmar the Dinky. And so it's up here and we've got the book, and then we can see that down here, lovely HTML, by the way. I like that you've called out some things. Although I'm gonna call you out publicly, Pat. Author Central, let's claim it. Make sure that you've got your picture in there. Tell us about you so we can connect. Let's see. And then Delmar the Dinky, and this is great. See how she's got kind of a sheet here that tells a little bit more. It's eye-catching. It's a little bit more than you're allowed on just your description. We can have the front and back version of the book. And again, if you don't have it, you can get these kind of images through, there's a free one. It's, I think, DIY book covers, and you can use that one to make 3D, or you can use things like Mockup Shot to make 3D images, and then Canva is what I use again for all of this kind of stuff. So this is awesome. Great job getting this up and getting up quickly. I love having the top one and then the 3 to follow up. It looks really nice. And then you get the open spread page so people can really see the colors, the vibrancy, and what they're getting. Excellent job, Pat. I am very impressed. You would help to do it. Well, you know what? Help or not, you got it up there. So I think it's great. All right. Oh, what do I think of Lit Prime and US review of books? I think all of the review resources I think can be helpful. I am not a fan of paying for a bunch of reviews. They usually, when you credit them, you actually have to say that it came from a paid source or it's got a different name. So, for example, it's not just a forward review; it's a Ford Clarion review. And so, when you have to credit it differently, anyone in the industry who kind of knows that it was a paid review, which kind of diminishes it a little bit. With that said, I have seen paid reviews that are very honest and very brutal, and they're not great. I've seen a Kirkus review, which was paid for, which is like $400, and it was so bad the author wouldn't even publish it. It was just that bad. So I've seen where it could be brutally honest, regardless of if you paid or not. But knowing that you paid for a review, I think does take away some of the validity of it. So I think that we should always, if we have the time, submit for professional reviews, keeping in mind that typically this is 3 to 4 months minimum before the book comes out. So before the book actually comes out, you submit it. If you go to newshelves.com, we have a list of professional reviews that you can submit for. It's one of the free resources in our store. And you submit it for free. A lot of them have online options, some of them don't. And there are paid options, but I think that you should always submit for the free option and make that kind of more of your priority, because that's the way that reviews kind of started. You submit, and if your book catches the eye of the reviewers and the editors, then they review your book. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it's awesome. And again, like I said, there are paid options, and if you do it, you do you, but just be smart about it. I've seen people go out and pay for 6 paid reviews, and suddenly they have spent thousands of dollars for these reviews, which again, you have to quote them in such a way that people know they're paid for, which diminishes them just a little bit. I'm going to drop in the chat box the reviewer list so that you can go download that and check it out. It is definitely free. All right, let's see. I'm finding submitting for reviews, you also get feedback from the judges. This is also helpful and icing on the cake when submitting for awards. Absolutely. I will say that getting some feedback and things like that can be very helpful. That's a good point, David. Yeah, Kirkus, if you can have some very brutal reviews from them. I will not lie. And so submitting for awards, David is saying you can get some great feedback, which you can then quote as a review. So sometimes book awards can get you a review from an award house, which is something that is helpful. So are they legitimate reviews though, John? Yes, they're legitimate reviews. It's just how you submit for them and how much you're really willing to invest in that kind of thing. All right, a follow-up to my follow-up. I'm wondering if Amazon is planning on ending their sales of Ingram hardcovers. What do you think? No, I don't think so. I think that what it will be is exactly what it is with paperback. They will still accept books directly from Ingram Wholesale for paperback and hardcover, because that is how they will make the most money. That is how they will get the big publishers and different things like that. And that is how they will they'll have more product, which means more sales. So I don't think that they will stop taking Ingram books, but I do think that they want to create a platform where people are encouraged and incentivized by making a higher profit to go directly through them. So then they are building this business of printing books, which they get paid for, as well as then having a business of, the KDP platform where people are advertising and different things like that. So I think that they are trying to take a bigger piece of the market, that's possible. But I don't think that they will stop taking Ingram hardcovers. It wouldn't be a great business decision because they'd lose money. And I don't think they're that stupid. That's right. And the big boys, I will say, some of them go directly through distributors. But again, the distributors use Ingram and that kind of thing to get the books over to Amazon. So I think it all depends. All right, Jane is asking Kindle Unlimited or go wide for a BookBub deal. And here's my opinion. If you are making a lot of money on Kindle Unlimited, if you are selling a lot of books, and if your audience has found you there, I think that Kindle Unlimited is something, it's a sure thing you can build your platform on. BookBub and going wide is a chance. You're submitting for the possibility. You're not necessarily guaranteed to get that. So it just depends on if you're willing to take that chance or not. If you're in a series and your series is all on Kindle Unlimited, I would leave it, especially if you're a mystery or if you're in romance. But if your first book, so I know Jane in particular, you've got 3 books and the first 2 books in the series are not in Kindle Unlimited. So I would be fine taking the 3rd book out of Kindle Unlimited. It kind of stays in line with the series and then trying to pitch it to BookBub. I think it just depends. And again, know that BookBub is a lottery. It's a chance. It is not guaranteed. So if you take your book out of Kindle Unlimited to go wide submit for BookBub, it doesn't mean you'll get one. You know, chances are if you submit, they'll say no at least the first couple of times. Although having reviews and sales and things can definitely help. So again, I think excuse me, it just depends on your sales. And I'd also be looking at what kind of sales following and read you're getting on Kindle Unlimited. If you're getting a bunch of reads, a client I have has 5 books out in a series, and last month he made over 160,000 page reads on Kindle Unlimited. If he suddenly took his books out of Kindle Unlimited for the chance of a BookBub deal, I would probably have to drive to his house, which is many hours away, and then take a book and smack him with it, because you're shooting yourself in the foot for the opportunity of a BookBub when you've got a sure thing already going on. So I think we have to look at what's already working. Let's see. Yeah, and if it's 5,000 page reads a month, I mean, that's not bad. But again, you kind of have to look and see what is that compared to your sales? What is that compared to the sales of your first 2 books? So, yeah, and you can do KDP select, so you can do the free deal, and you can submit to BookBub for a free deal and, you know, just have it on Amazon. Your chances go down a little bit because BookBub is international and they like to have books that are available everywhere, not just Amazon. But I have several clients who have had a KDP deal, or I'm sorry, a KDP free deal that was picked up by BookBub, and they had a huge response. I had one client, she's got a mystery series and she's done it twice now, where she's gotten a BookBub free deal on the first book in her series. And the last time she had over 40,000 downloads of her free book, which of course skyrocketed the rest of her series. You're in a weird spot, Jane, where it's your 3rd book. So it's a little bit different. So my book slapping service. I actually, Caroline will laugh because I'm like, all right, it's my moment for hard love. I've congratulated you. I'm like, yeah, you're doing a great job. And then it's the end of our consulting calls. And I'm like, now let's talk. And I think that it's my job, and I did this with another client. I think it's my job to tell you hard truths and to tell you where you can improve. It's not just my job as a publishing consultant and as a marketing consultant to tell you, great job, you're doing what you should. I mean, there should be some of that because everyone likes a little pat on the back. But maybe people also need a slap upside the head to get going on some things as well. So I think we've got to balance it out with some really positive reinforcement, but also some hard truths and some nitty gritty where it's like, all right, let's make things happen. And it's my tough love moments. Tough love from Keri. Absolutely. Selling out every day. Just ask my husband. Poor man. He's a saint. Let's see. All right. He really is. He's a saint. Okay, you guys, we also had a question about audiobooks. We'd kind of been talking about Chirp and about how a Chirp deal works. It is the sister company of BookBub. You can submit your book. If it's on Find a Way Voices, you can submit your book for a discount or a free deal for the audiobook. they will discount it for you. It doesn't currently cost the author or the publisher anything. They just have to take the lower royalties, and then it goes out to a bunch of people. I have a dear friend and client, Shira Shaloa, who got her book Emergence in a chirp, and it went out on August 3rd. And she had sold in just the first day, maybe two, she'd already sold like 600 audiobooks, which is amazing because it didn't cost her anything. Yes, she was taking a little bit less royalties, but she's also racking up new people who are interested in her book. She's also going to get more reviews out of this. So awesome for Chirp. And then that kind of brought up questions about, how do I get my book made into an audiobook? And when you're doing an audiobook, you can certainly do production on your own. You can go find a voice artist. You can do all the whole bit. You can narrate your own book, especially if you have a nonfiction book. Narrating your own book is very popular. Readers like to hear directly from the person, but you can also use ACX, which is the the Amazon, I've blanked. It's the exchange. It's the Amazon Creator Exchange. So it's ACX, and you can go through them. They will actually cut you a deal if you decide to go exclusive with Amazon for Audible and iTunes, and you choose to do that, then they will actually make it cheaper for you to create your audiobook. But you do have to pay these lovely voice artists and things that are going into it. It's not free. You can also go through Findaway, where they have a whole bunch of people who also will submit for your book and do voice readings, and then you can pick there. And Findaway Voices has two options: one where they have lower cost and you in exchange make lower royalties, you have less options, or where you outright pay for all the services, but you have more control. So they do have those options. And we have in the past done a webinar with Derek Doepker that is all about how to create your own audiobook. And I'm going to drop that link. It's just at newshelves.com/audio. And I have the recorded webinar up on there. You are welcome to watch. Derek kind of goes through all of the basic options of doing that. So feel free to go watch that. That's evergreen. It's staying up on my website. So newshelves.com/audio. Derek does have a course that's a paid course that he can walk you through, and there is that option on the page. But to watch the webinar where he kind of walks you through the steps is completely free. So feel free to go visit that. Yeah, and Caroline is an audiobook narrator, and a stinking good one. And she has also coached several authors in the past year recording their own audiobook, because that's kind of in her wheelhouse, which is awesome. Let's see. And she's happy to answer questions. So maybe if you have questions, drop them in the Free Advice Friday Facebook group. And I've also bugged Caroline about possibly doing a blog for New Shelves, and maybe we'll have her on Free Advice Friday to ask all her questions. It's Caroline Dottie. So it's Caroline, I don't know if you want to put your information in there. I didn't get permission to just share it all over the place. Yes, and Bob, it's not easy for those like myself who hate the sound of their own voice. I couldn't agree more. And sometimes we're not the best narrator for a book, and sometimes we're not the best narrator for our book, and sometimes we just got to get over ourselves. I hate the sound of my voice, actually, and yet I make a lot of videos and things like that because my voice and all this is part of the brand. It's part of, New Shelves. And so sometimes we got to just try it out. And sometimes it's okay to recognize that's not your talent and find someone else to do it. And Caroline is saying, Caroline at no shoes, SHOOZ.US. Oh, Bob, that's hilarious. I've never heard my own podcast. Well, maybe it's time to start. I think you sound just fine. I've heard video and podcasts from you. I think we're always our own harshest critic, though. All right. The other thing that we had questions about, I had a lot of questions, is that Tara Alamany and I did a webinar this past week on how to launch a book and kind of the process, the things that you need to go through and how to get organized. And I had a lot of requests for the replay link. So I'm going to drop that in the chat here. It is up again. It's a recorded webinar. You can go visit it. It's just newshelf.com/book-launches/simplified. But it's right there, and I'll make sure that it gets up in the Free Advice Friday group as well. Is it HTTP or HTTPS? It should be HTTPS. We have a security certificate on it. So it should be that. If you're not seeing that, I'm not quite sure why, but I don't know. It should be HTTPS because we have that security certificate. So it's all legit, but I will drop the link again just to make sure. There we go. Yes, and most sites will redirect if you use the wrong one. They'll just kind of redo it. But know that we all usually dislike the sound of our voice, even voiceover talent. That's until you start making money and then you learn to love it. Exactly, Caroline. Exactly. When it comes with some benefits and it's like, all right, I guess it's all right. Perfect. I'm just going to re-up that here. So it sounds like we have a lot of interest. So Caroline, no pressure or anything, but it just sounds like you kind of have to come on Free Advice Friday and answer all of our questions. I think that would be fun. I love having friends on Free Advice Friday. It's always a great way to start the weekend. All right, we kind of ran through all of our questions. So if you have any more questions about anything, publishing, marketing, drop them. Randy, you are also my dear friend. You aren't chopped liver. You're at least whole liver. Although I hate liver, so my husband likes it. But no, I love all of my Free Advice Friday friends, and I like having people on the show with me. I love when I get to show off your books and celebrate your wins and your new launches and all of that kind of stuff. It's fun to watch people. Certainly as we are on here week after week on Free Advice Friday, it is fun to watch people like you, Randy, who went from, you had just launched your first book when we started talking, and now you're on your third book, and I can tell the difference in everything from your marketing to your covers, literally everything. It's amazing and awesome to see authors kind of evolve and find their place and learn all of the ins and out of publishing. I love it. It is fun. All right, guys, I know it's a little early. Let's see, one suggestion to offer. I'm surprised how many authors' websites don't use their icon for the browser tab icon. This is the ICO file that gets added. It's another brand reminder people should be using. That is a great point, David. And I have a call with my web designer today, and I'm going to add that to my list. And I think that is a great point, talking about, the little icon. See if I can find one. I always see them and I think, oh, that's really great. And then I forget when it's actually time to do anything. Oh no, here, we can do this. Hang on. So I will show you what exactly we are talking about. So here we go. I will share. Oh, we already have it on there. Look, we're already more awesome than I knew. I love when that happens. It so rarely happens, but I love when it happens. All right, so I'm going to share here, and you can see this is what we're talking about. Is this icon here where it shows up in Facebook, where it shows up, opposed to something that maybe is kind of generic that says things like just a WordPress. Like KDP has theirs. And so that's kind of the branding little piece so that it shows up. Whereas if you go kind of to a generic website, I cannot believe how many times it's not only that, or like it's something that has nothing to do with it. Like the whole heading is nothing to do with it. So just like your book metadata matters, having the metadata in your website and having those little touches of branding definitely help. And I believe it's pretty easy. So awesome feedback and tip there. Yes, or just having the web host there, not as pretty. I love that, Randy. I'm getting all the warm fuzzies. I won't have to come beat you with a book today. Yes, it is the small things that add up. For sure it is. I am surprised to still get questions about capitalization with email addresses and URLs. Both are case insensitive. That is correct. I had someone tell me that the other day. We were working on some marketing materials and we had capitalized the title. It's the title of their book, and we had capitalized the beginning of every word to make it stand out. And they're like, oh, well, that will confuse people because it's not going to work when they type it in. I was like, oh no, it doesn't matter. So yes, absolutely. Website, email, it does not matter. You can do all caps, you can do no caps, you can do a mixture, be crazy if you've got that much time, and it does not matter. See. Next week, Randy, next week. I love it. No problem, Kim. No problem. I actually got, I often get asked, actually completely off topic, but I often get asked if I have email on my phone because I respond to emails at some really weird times of day sometimes. And I do not have email on my phone. I actually refuse to put email on my phone because then I would never sleep and I would never stop working. Tara, way to call me out. Yes, it was 3 a.m., but in my defense, I was binge watching a new show. And so I had to feel a little bit like I was doing something productive at the same time. Yes, it happens. It just happens. Yes, a quick summary of Tara's course. So on the Book Launches Simplified, which we did this week, really what it is this whole map, this whole web of the things you need to launch a book well. It's got all the different steps, all the ones that we talk about, and then you're like, I'm not going to remember all of this. Well, Tara has created this course that really lays it all out, and it takes you through the steps. And you don't have to do all of them, but it gives you information about each of the steps, from distribution to reviews and publicity and marketing, so that you have the knowledge and the power to decide what you want to do, and also what things are over your head and you don't want to do, and you want to have someone else do them for you. But it is kind of a true guide that can be used over and over with your books for a book launch, so that you can kind of go through the steps of a book launch and be organized. So many times we have these great ideas and we're like, yes, I should do that. I will do that. It'll be amazing. I'll do this. I'll do that. But then we don't write it down. We don't have it in a spreadsheet, in a Trello, whatever it is. And then we forget. So this course, the Book Launches Simplified, does that for you. It takes you through all the steps so that you don't leave anything out and you don't forget anything. And it really is a great resource with tools and options and ideas. It's a one-time fee, and then you have it for a life. We do have on that link I left you, the webinar is up, so you can just watch the webinar if you want. That's free. But if you want to buy the course, it's $297 as an introductory price. But we have a code for new shelves that will last through tomorrow night at midnight, and it's simply new shelves. It'll take $25 off. You have the course for life, and you will get all the updates and everything like that. So it was a great chat and training, just talking about the different pieces of a book launch that I think for a lot of people really brought up questions of what they need to do to launch successfully and how they can do it and how they can still do it after your book comes out. And the difference between a launch date and a release date, like the date when your book actually comes out, is very rarely very exciting. It's your launch date when you really do all your PR and everything hits that's exciting. And Randy is saying it's definitely worth the nominal fee. Absolutely. Jane is using it as well, and she's loving it. Yeah, we're getting lots of great feedback about how great it is. So awesome resource. All right, you guys. Well, it is right at 11 and Mr. Griff has a grooming appointment that I've got to run off to. So I think we're going to hop off. Thank you for joining me this Friday and every Friday. It is 10:50. I don't know what I said. I have no clue what time I said it was. Let's be honest. But we're going to hop off. If you guys have questions, please know the Free Advice Friday Facebook group. You can always do email us at questions@freeadvicefridays.com and you can join us anytime. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Same time, same place. Bye.